Soldier Nation. Once again, Soldier of Self-Mastery here, aka Santos Jr., straight out of Stockton here on a Tuesday, June the 2nd. My time is just going by so quickly. Pretty soon we'll be into the year 2021. And where will you be in the year 2021? So we're going to talk just a little bit here about the struggle of getting away from addiction. Just a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to give you some understanding of maybe why you're struggling, why you're stuck. Maybe you've tried, I don't know what you've tried to get away from your addiction, your gambling addiction. If you're here, it's not a coincidence that you're here. And I would venture to say that if you're watching this video and if you have Soldier scribed to this channel, then it's probably safe for me to say that you're looking for a solution. You're looking for a way to get away from gambling. And I'm not just talking about getting away from gambling, soldiers. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about crushing this thing. Okay? Do you want to crush your addiction? Would you like to crush your addiction? Do you think it's possible to crush that addiction? End it completely so that you can go on, so you can grow on with a new life, a better life? I'll tell you, it feels fantastic. It feels terrific to be completely free from problem gambling. I am extremely grateful today for that fact in my life. And again, it's not just about getting away from gambling. It's about crushing the addiction, literally crushing it, keeping it under your feet. Of course, it took me 32 years of on and off problem gambling. I didn't have what I'm sharing with you. I didn't have these tools. I didn't have coaches in my life. I didn't have those things. Why? I wasn't ready. I guess I wasn't ready back then. And it wasn't, if I go back 10, 15, 20 years, it wasn't really bad. My addiction probably got bad within the last 10 to 15 years. That's when it really took its toll on me. It broke me. I hit rock bottom. Now, our lives are much like a garden. A couple of years ago, I would say about 2 years ago, I was doing I got a small backyard, and I was pulling I wanted to redo the whole backyard because when we moved into this home that I currently live in, the backyard was really bad. So for about 2 weeks, I was out there pulling grass, pulling weeds, because we were going to do the whole, and I thought, man, after 2 weeks, it looked beautiful. It was just flat with grass seed. Next thing you know, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, everything starts to grow and the weeds are growing right in the midst of the grass. All right, you got to there's always bad apples, or there's at least one bad apple in the barrel, like they say. Now, weeds is really strange because if you don't get to the root of the problem, right, with weeds, they end up coming back. I didn't know that. I'm not a gardener. I don't have a green thumb. I do have a green mind, right? Green mind that operates like a parachute. It's always open to receive the good stuff. And by the way, I want to thank you for being here with me. I'm going to just take a few minutes and just pay attention to what I'm sharing. Listen, if you're struggling, it isn't a coincidence that you're here. So early on in our lives, we have these seeds planted. During our childhood, we have mom and papa. Sometimes we only have papa or mama, right? Single family. We have friends. There's neighbors. And then there's the environment where we grow up. A lot of that has to do with the seeds that were planted. A lot of that has to do with the seeds that are being planted into our subconscious. I believe all the way up to the age of around 8. I think it could be a little bit older, but we'll just keep it at 8. So right now you're struggling, you're watching this video and you're asking yourself the question, man, I'd love to get away from gambling, but I've struggled and it's not happening. I watch your videos, Santos, some of your videos. Santos, I watch a few minutes of your video, but I really don't get into watching the whole video. Maybe that could be an idea of maybe why you're not getting the breakthrough that you want in your life, because you're really not following through. And it is a challenge. I know it was for me. when I hit rock bottom, to get out of that situation that I was in, it was a challenge. But nevertheless, I made a decision, right? To make a decision means to cut, to kill everything else. That word, I learned over the weekend that word decision comes from, I believe it's a Greek word, and it has ci in it, like suicide, right? To kill. And when you make a decision, that means that you cut everything else off. But it's hard to make a decision when you really don't know how to make an effective decision, or you try to make some things happen, but you're fighting against these invisible laws in your head, right? Remember earlier we talked about upbringing and the seeds that are planted, depending on how you grow up, because some children grow up very well. The majority don't. So one of the major reasons that you might be seriously struggling with your addiction is because you're fighting paradigms. You're fighting seeds that have been planted very early on. And unless you can get to the root of that, you're going to continue struggling. Because our lives are like a garden. They really are. Much, much like a garden. And it may not even be your fault to a certain degree if you're struggling with some addiction, because of the input that you had very early on. Now, if you're an older person, it still applies. Just because we're older people doesn't mean that we are, doesn't mean that we have it all together. Honestly, there's things that are buried that go deep. You might have some really deep roots inside of your mind, and you're struggling and you don't know why you can't break this habit or crush it, like I say. Put this thing under your feet. I just want to share this with you to think about this. Think about that the possibility may not even be completely your fault. It could have to do with what was done very, very early on in life. So if you get this understanding, if you have this understanding, wow, okay, I'm having problems. I want to get away from this gambling, but I'm kind of like facing limiting beliefs and or values, right? We get these values put into us when we're young. And that's where the change needs to happen up here. There's a decision that's made, a solid decision where you cut everything else off, and then you begin to use the tools that are at your disposal. I offer consultation. I share my videos. Of course, I would highly, in fact, right now, GABA, the Gambling Addiction Breakthrough Academy, is, I think we got it at $49. And I offer you that. That's a very good tool to have. It's a very, very good tool to have in your arsenal. Why spend $50 more in a casino or online gambling when you can get the GABA and have it a lifetime access that you can use? And those videos you're not going to find anywhere else. There's the curriculum. There's a little bit of a bonus in there. And on top of that, you're going to get a free coaching session with me. And I'm dead serious. I want to work with people that really want to help themselves. But I've come to the conclusion that some of you are fighting something that you're probably not even aware of. And it has to do with roots inside of your subconscious. I believe that this is the answer that some of you are looking for, because you don't know why you can't crush this addiction in your life. So again, I offer my tools. I'm going to encourage you to watch more of my videos, share my videos. Always give me a thumbs up, because it's everything that you do, paying it forward, is going to come back to you in one way or another. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You want to move out of that dark jungle. You want to move out of that swamp that you're in. And you do that by turning on the light. You got to turn on the light up here so that the light will shine around you. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Hopefully it'll open your eyes a little bit. Leave a comment. I will respond. I will do my best. And once again, if you need somebody in your life and you have the means to invest in yourself, check out soldiersofselfmastery.com. The link will be right below. And I promise you will get results with me. If you are alive, not dead serious, but alive serious, I promise to help you overcome, break through, and pull those roots out of your subconscious so that you can go forward and be free and crush gambling. Crush gambling. So, another reminder, Your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. And as I say this mantra every day, I choose to make every day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top, in spite of and because of. Believe me, there's a lot of stuff going out there, right? Because of and in spite of. With that said, I will see you at the top on my next one on the inside, my friend. Soldiersofselfmastery.com. I salute you.